audio and video seem to be matching now. All right, I'm ready to go live on TikTok. I'm
Yeah, let me
hitting
throw this
go
on here,
live
man.
on TikTok. Loading, 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 loading. Hey, everybody on YouTube, we're waiting for TikTok is loading, loading, loading. You know, I was having problems with it earlier. It was not working. So TikTok's getting a good shot on my crotch if it ever goes live. I don't know that TikTok's going to work. Every time I tried to pull up live on TikTok, it collapsed. So maybe you
Really?
just,
Okay.
yeah, it's been saying loading ever since
Weird.
I
Okay,
tapped
so
it.
I'm live now, man. Hey, TikTok.
You just disappeared. You reconnected to your phone. Jake, you re or you're muted. You muted yourself. And he disappeared. It's almost like I tell Jake every week to get this set in advance, and he doesn't. All right, I'm going to collapse my TikTok and see if it ever fires up because TikTok is just the worst. So, what's everybody up to on YouTube? Oh, God. I didn't need to see that. Oh. On. For the fuck of fuck, TikTok, will you just stop being shitty? This is where those mime lessons are going to pay off. Yes, I need to Marceau my face, and then I can interpret for Jake. Or Jake, actually, my audio works. He needs to set up, get some mime going so that he can interpret for you what he can present to you what he needs to say through interpretation. Glad I went live early when I thought Jake was ready, but yeah. I guess now I get to edit all this out of the beginning when it is time to post it as a podcast when it's time. And I'm just once Jake shows up, I'm gonna shit can the TikTok because now it says something's gone wrong. Network error. Please try again. Oh, technology, aren't you fun? So laughing at people from the 1A vids. What are 1A vids? Lead hit? Solar, aren't you glad you've been on time? Aren't you glad you're on time? Because this is what you miss. Usually we do this whenever we're generally 10 minutes late. It's because Jake and I are doing this behind the scenes. Jake is hooking and unhooking devices and unable to. It's almost like every week is the first time we've done this. We've been live for 3 minutes and 2 seconds and still nothing. And TikTok is just looking up my nose here. This is what I'm looking at TikTok. Just loading, loading, loading. Hey, you like my backyard? There's our trampoline. Our bird feeders are over there. We've got, looks like just chickadees. Oh, and blackbirds with yellow and orange wings. What's a blackbird with a yellow and orange wing? That's what we got going on. Happy Sunday. Hello, Todd. I assume it means the vacation went well. Truman, that's my son. Resume live. Your live was paused automatically. I didn't pause it. Oh, wait. Am I live? I might be live on TikTok. No, I'm not. Because I can't do anything. I have no. Yeah, this is something went wrong. TikTok is the worst. And now it won't let me. Oh, First Amendment audits. What I was watching video of the Knicks. That's what I was watching. I like watching celebrations. The way they came from behind. Was it all 4 games the Knicks came from behind? All right, I am officially giving up on TikTok. TikTok can go fuck itself. Red Wing Blackbirds, that makes sense. I like how I have the bird feeders and don't even know what they are. I'm getting rid of my phone. Fuck TikTok. My wife is currently in Portugal. She has 3 other sisters. There are 4 fine girls. That's what they were known through school, the 4 fine girls. And so their mom decided to have them all go to Europe. So all husbands and all kids got ditched. And wives and just daughters, mom and daughters, all went to Portugal. They went to Lisbon for a little while, and then they went to Lagos, which confused me because she said Lagos, and I'm like, wait, that's in Africa. Is that? I can't think of what country in Africa, but I know it's not a tourist destination. You don't go to Lagos for fun, but there is a Lagos in Portugal, and they went kayaking in clear blue waters, and they went through a couple caves. Whoa, this is actually kind of funny. Just to kill time for Jake. A couple weeks ago, just somehow on TikTok, I a video of things gone wrong while spelunking, while look diving in caves came up, and so I watched it, and so my feed started filling with all these videos of cave accidents where they put on scuba gear and go diving down, and everyone dies. And so then my wife is like, "Yeah, we're kayaking. We went into a cave." And I'm like, "That's what I needed to hear. All I'm doing is watching you die in cave videos and you're going kayaking." Now, they stayed on the surface, but she did say it was scary because it got pitch black and you had to lay all the way back in your kayak because it enclosed. Like, it started as a wide cave and got smaller and smaller, and you had to lay back in your kayak. But still, yeah, I'm trying to get my knee out of the shot because nobody needs to see that. But I've got a foot up for comfort. I'm pushing back, and Lagos international intrigue abounds. Yeah, Lagos. Where did I? Portugal. Let that paranoia set in. Yeah, I mean that's what it does. Oh, there. Jake has entered the studio. So I've got two pictures on my screen right now. On one, it says Jake has joined. Add him to the stage where I am, and then in the thing it says device not connected. So I can't add Jake because he's not there. They will need to connect before you invite them to the live stream. So Solar, yes, I'm jealous too because she got to go to Europe and I stayed home and learned that having one parent yell at kids 100% of the times instead of two parents yelling 50% of the time, that's not fun. Being the one parent that has to deal with everything. So kudos to single moms and single dads and everyone that has to deal with it nonstop. She comes home tonight. I am getting her at about 10 p.m., give or take. God willing, there are no delays. But yeah, it's been 7, 8, 10, 11 days. She got to go on a long break. And yeah, I filmed a bunch of daily videos in advance because I knew it would be too hectic to try and film with two kids running around. But tomorrow, Truman starts camp. He will be gone from 8 to noon or 7:30 to noon. And my daughter begins cross country training. So she has like 8 to noon out running in the heat. So from here forward, I have several weeks of alone time. Of course, my wife got to miss the week they were both home and on top of me, so she probably planned that. Schrodinger's Jake, here and not here at the same time. Yes, yes, that is how it works. Portugal has good wine, just not the desert ports. Dessert ports. Yeah, I can't read dessert ports. I am not an alcohol kind of guy. I don't like wine or beer or liquor. I have a sweet tooth. So what tastes good to me is like Kahlua or Bailey's, a good blind Russian because it tastes very chocolatey. That's about all I drink is a blind Russian. All right, you got to keep me amused in the comments because I have nothing to say. What we're going to talk about this week, if you're interested, let me pull up the links. We have another story of an immigrant for Trump getting detained and now they're in debt. Oh, I thought this was funny. Remember? Well, I'll bring it up with Jake. Oh, Nick Reiner. Remember him? He killed his dad, Rob Reiner. His dad, Rob Reiner, and his mom, the wife, I can't think of her name. They set up a 1.5 million trust fund for him for all their kids to gain at a certain time in their life. He wants access to it now to pay his legal fees. So he kills his parents. Now he wants to hire lawyers with the money they're giving him so that he can say he didn't kill them. Allegedly. Let me put that in there so I don't get sued. But yes, allegedly. Jake's still not here. All right. Oh, Nancy May lost her bid for governor. That's what happens. I find it so amusing that these people just lick Trump's butthole nonstop. And the instant they do one thing that is genuinely human, she called for release of the Epstein files, boom, they're cut off and they're ousted from the cult. Oh, probably open with this story. Last week we talked about the military deciding to do away with certain religions, and we made fun of Scientology. Turns out Mormonism was on the list. But a Mormon MAGA Utah guy, the headline says, went ballistic, so they had to re-add Mormonism to the recognized religions. Here's another funny one. Ken Paxton's attorney endorsed James Tallarico. So all these things Jake and I will talk about if he ever shows up. Is he back yet? Nope, he's not back. U.S. launches largest ever effort to denaturalize citizens accused. Why did I send this article? What is this about? Oh, yeah, I thought that was funny and ironic. All right. So, no more magic underwear. Well, no more magic underwear in the military for a week, and then they got it all worked out, or Oh, here we go. I've got a text. I got to completely restart my computer again. I'll try Bluetooth coming back. Fuck my computer. Picked right now to install new software. Literally just checked and restarted an hour ago. And I have a text from my neighbor. I was. Hey, we got a squirrel out over on the bird feeder. And whenever I talk about my bird feeder, people ask, "Do you chase away the squirrels?" And I say, "We don't have. We're a new development neighborhood. All our trees are babies. We have one big one, and we don't have squirrels. But we've been slowly. We have one squirrel, and it's eating the seeds. And I don't chase it away because the birds are such sloppy assholes that." They eat like birds. They just pick, and then shit spills everywhere. So the squirrel doesn't even have to climb up and get it. It just stays on the ground and gets to eat up all the scraps. So I like having the squirrel. Now, I don't know where my dog is because she loves squirrels too. She loves chasing that thing. And then it tears up the tree, and then the dog just races around the base of the tree trying to get at the squirrel. So I feel bad for the squirrel because it has this dumb. Since I have a mini schnauzer, they were bred to be ratters. So anything small and furry, she wants to pick it up and shake it by the neck. And I don't want that to happen to that little squirrel. I want the little squirrel to live its little squirrel life. I would like a mudslide. I've heard of mudslide. What's in it? What's in the mudslide? I hope that I have a shirt of his. I've worn it in videos. I think so. Jake and I talked about this last week that Texas Tallarico has an outside chance because when the Republican is so bad, that's the only time a Democrat has a chance. Not because people don't vote logically; they vote emotionally, and for some reason, once they get put in their little cult, that's where they stay, be it Democrat or Republican. And the Republican we have running here fucking doesn't live here. He has a house here and he flies home and he's running for governor here. And I guess this doesn't make a difference to me, but I guess or was it the other guy? One of them invested in sex toys or cock rings or something like that. So I think the fact that he just wants to govern here. Oh, then again, it worked for Hillary. She ran for New York. Like she never lived in New York, and then she set up an office and ran. So who knows? I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off. It'd be nice because he's running in a manner that I think is interesting. He's not running as a far left. He seems to understand rural America, the people that decide every election. I always thought it'd be fun to have you. I'm just babbling at this point. I don't have anything to say, but I will. I want to go all the way back. This is going to the governor of Iowa. When I read the squirrel's chasing birds now, it's frisking with the birds. It just chased all the birds into the air. I read a fascinating breakdown of the Obama election of 2008. Everybody thought it was going to be Hillary. Barack comes out of nowhere, wins Iowa, and just marches on. Obama went county to county to county in Iowa and talked to everyone. He got to know them. He listened to them. They dialogue back and forth. Whereas Hillary was just like, I'm ascendant. I'm the next one. You need to vote for me. And apologies for not being all there in my brain because this is off the top of my head. The reason Iowa was good to go first is because of that, as we've seen in 2016 and I would say with 2020, even though Biden pulled off a squeaker, especially 2024, even though there was no primary, Biden lost Iowa. He took it for granted and he said, no, I'm focusing on South Carolina, a red state that will never go blue in the full on general election, but, diversity, we need to focus on that. And when you focus on diversity instead of America, you lose. And so, because in 2020, he lost Iowa and the DNC, God, I'm all over the place. In 2008, Obama talks to everybody in Iowa. He gets to know rural white voters who, as we learned in 2016 and even in 2020, Biden flipped enough independents, but especially 2024, they decide elections. So in 2016, Bernie Sanders talks to these working class voters, but the DNC says, nope, it's going to Hillary, and then she loses. In 2020, it went to Bernie and Mayor Pete, but the DNC said, nope, it's got to go to Biden. But people were so disgusted with Trump that they eventually did give it to Biden. 2024, they say, we're not even going to primary. We're going to skip Iowa. And then Biden has to drop out. They hand it to Kamala, and Trump wins again. I don't know that the Democrats are smart enough to realize their folly, but this has nothing to do with ego. I happen to live here, but I don't think Iowa needs to be first. I think it's important to listen to rural, uneducated voters. The one Trump, I love the poorly educated. Yes, he does, because they vote based on emotion, not reason or logic. So you get out there, you talk to them, and I think that's what the guy running for governor is doing. He's out there talking, and I hope that can supersede someone that lives in, I think it's Kansas is where the Republican running for governor. Now, the interesting thing will be our senator, since Joni Ernst is retiring after being a bootlicker. We have Ashley Hinson, who is a horrible person and who votes to hurt rural Iowans nonstop. She just votes for federal policies that hurt rural Iowans, running against, I'm drawing a blank on his name, the para-Olympian, who it'll be interesting to see if she can ride Trump's endorsement all the way to the Senate. Ohio is going to end up with DI billionaire. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I did see an interesting story about Vivek, all for governor, and they'll yell and scream when he does what he says, and it hurts all the rural people who follow the culted one. I read an article that said that Ohio Republicans are really struggling to accept Vivek. Like they know he says all the right things and that he's got the blessing of the orange one, but what it boils down to, he's still this weird brown guy. And as much as I don't like to blame racism for anything or everything, I do understand that it exists. And I think it's funny when, they still use the idea of, well, he's one of the good ones, but that doesn't always work because you still have this physical representation. And when it doesn't look like them, that scrambles their little brains. I just have a notification that says, add Jake to the stage, but he's not there. Oh, it's okay. Jake is someone here. Hi, April. We're good here. We have been running on 20 minutes with technical difficulties with Jake. Yeah, we're good. I'm just rambling. All of this will be edited out of the podcast. All of this will be edited out. When I take the live cast and chop it, I don't usually chop it because there's nothing to edit out. I usually just chop off the first minute or two. Today I get to chop off 19 minutes and 45 seconds so far of extraneous nonsense. And Jake disappeared. They'll fall in line, and the woman who closed things. Yes, well, yeah, well, there you go. Why would you ever? That happened again. I do not like to blame racism and sexism. Kamala was a bad candidate. We've said it on this podcast a million times. She did not even make it to Iowa in 2020. She had to drop out before the caucuses. That said, study after study after study showed that a certain percentage, not all, a certain percentage of black males and Hispanic males did not want to vote for a female president. So it had nothing to do with her being a ethnic minority. It was ethnic minorities who had enough sexism, and there are redneck whites that feel the same way, obviously. But those were the two groups that were studied, and when it boiled down to it, they said no. We there were certain Hispanic, especially on the Hispanic side, that said we will not vote for a woman. So there you go, and it sounds like that's what's going to happen for Ohio too. I don't think Trump pat on the back means as much as it did 2 years ago. It does for the primary. Obviously, it does it for the primary because that's when the cultists come out. The primary is when, voter rolls drop because it's not important, so people stay home, and the cultists send the worst candidates to the table for both sides. For both sides, you get the far left douchebag that like the mayor. Not Karen Bass. The one. So you had Karen Bass, you had Spencer Pratt, and then someone else, and I can't think of the someone else. But she literally is called for the abolishing of the police, saying we need to abolish the police. And she beat Spencer Pratt. Now Spencer Pratt's a douchebag with nothing to offer, but she offers horrible ideas. So I don't know anything about Karen Bass. Hopefully she prevails because I think there are different levels. Like Mondami, I never heard anything by him that scared me, that made me go, oh my God. I know a lot of people are panicking about him. I'm not panicking about the race for mayor of Los Angeles, but this woman that's going up against Karen Bass, she seems fucking batshit, like too far left. And so back to what was just said, primaries, you get the far right Ken Paxton douchebags who beat Cronin, who was a moderate. He was classic Republican, like Mitt Romney, someone that you could vote for. But now we have Ken Paxton, and yeah, that's misogyny has greater hatred than racism. We all have a mom. Everybody has a mom, and yet when it comes down to equality, we somehow forget that. There are also white women who vote against themselves for the same reason, just as hating a woman in charge over a man. Yeah, you see those trad wives that for some reason...
Hey, is this finally working?
It seems to be finally working. Point of note, I will tell you this. I've given up on TikTok. For the first, I would say, 5 minutes you were gone, I was trying to get it to work. My TikTok will not go live. I can pull it back right now.
Let me give my wife's computer back to her because I was going to switch off to her. I'm still talking to you on Bluetooth.
No, that's all good. After several minutes of TikTok fucking up, I'm like, fuck you, you suck. Oh, wow. Maybe I can go live. Maybe just letting it sit worked. I can go live on TikTok. 3, 2, 1. All I had to do was set the phone down. Oh, I'm
Your
live.
TikTok didn't work. My fucking computer didn't work. That's
You're
funny,
looking
man.
up at my nose. Nope, I can't invite you to co-host. Let's try again. Where's Jake? Are you live on TikTok? Hey, TikTok, do you like my nose?
I'm on there now. Just invited you now.
All right. I don't. Oh, there we go. Nope. I'm
TikTok is the Idiots on Parade podcast. We are going to go live as soon as my co-host is connected with me on here.
I do not have an
Weird. It says I just sent one. Oh, shit. It also says I dropped my thing.
Well, here, I'll end my live and rejoin. Maybe I'm still having problems.
Weird. It's saying it's. I just invited you again.
There it is.
It does.
I had to cancel and come back.
Show you as live.
No, you invited
me. Completely frozen up on me.
Isn't this fun?
Okay, there we go.
Aren't technical difficulties fun?
Co-host with creators. It says co-host.
Yeah. It says I joined. I think I'm still having problems with live. I think it says I'm live, but I'm not. So I'm going to try this one final time, and then we will give up on TikTok and fuck it, because now I'm live.
We are. This is the Idiots on Parade.
I just invited
podcast.
You. I just invited
says you're
you.
On
there
we, oh, accept. Boom.
All right. Let's do this.
There we go.
Hello. Idiot, welcome to the Idiots on Parade livecast. We mock the news so you don't have to. I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. With me, as always, is Jake Vevra, stand-up comedian in New York City. Hello, Jake. You're completely frozen, and Jake is frozen. I did the intro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, it keeps cutting out on me.
Yeah, it's dead.
It's cutting out really, really bad, man.
Do you have can you buy a cable and plug right into your internet?
I mean, let's see. I guess I could try that. I'm not.
Well, I mean, for the future.
I don't think it's the internet though, man. It says I got 4 bars. Yeah, I mean, it says I got 4 bars right now. I don't think the connectivity is the issue.
Oh well, we have this. Let's just try and do it. I'm gonna try and get my crotch off.
Yeah, let's do it.
Jesus Christ! All I can see is crotch on TikTok. All right. Let's.
Honestly, it's probably streaming. I tried to join like a dozen times, man, and this thing it kept saying it was unresponsive or whatever, and would lock up on me. So.
Well, we missed a story last week. We were talking about the military not recognizing religions, and we completely missed that they knocked Mormonism off. Mormonism was one of the religions they said is not real and does not count. But the headline I sent you is Pentagon walks back Mormon snub on Pete Hegseth's recognized religions list after MAGA lawmaker goes ballistic. Pentagon officials reversed course on Monday and announced an update to a list of officially recognized religions. The Department of Defense announced it after, let's see, where is it? A new snub, the Church of Latter-day Saints. Where's the guy that Senator Mike Lee, Utah's senator and a close Trump ally, led as members.
I was going to say Utah's fairly conservative. They're doing everything they can to lose Utah right now.
Well, they're not going to lose it, but I think it's funny because as we made fun last week, which of the made-up bullshit stories are real and which aren't? Because if there's one that is absolutely fake that can be traced to the con man that made it, it's Mormonism. I mean, you got the Book of Mormon, you got South Park that did the All About Mormons episode. You could... The end of the South Park episode is the best because it's sort of like, okay, it's kind of it's a bullshit religion, but it makes us happy and we're good people, so what are you going to do? And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to say you want to be Christian, Mormon, Scientologist, that's great. Just understand that it's completely bullshit. So it's funny that Hegseth said, "No, we're not going to count this because it's fucking nonsense." But then they had to do a mea culpa and say, well, it's nonsense, but we pissed off one of our own, so we have to pretend it's not.
It shows you how disingenuous the whole thing is, because as we pointed out last week, it gets a little hypocritical to sit there and go, these are all the fake religions, but these are the real ones. The ones where the magic is real. That gets it a little nutty on itself. But then with Mormonism, as you pointed out, and with Scientology, I think having your actual magical deity, prophet man, whatever you want to call him in your book of Robbity Bobbity Boo, the closer you have him to now, the easier it is to point and be like, see, it's kind of bullshit. When it's thousands of years ago, it's like, well, there was no recorders of any kind back then. We're just going off the words of some other dead guy that came along way after that guy. And this guy was magic. You're just going to have to take our word for it. We can't disprove anything that happened or didn't happen back then for the most part. So once you go back like a few thousand years, you can kind of do that. And it's like, well, you got to have faith. There wasn't anything to record.
Right.
Now we're going into the time where it's like, no, I see that guy's fucked up teeth. What are you talking about? If he's a prophet, he should at least have a decent. And I know I have fucked up teeth too. I'm not pretending to be the messenger of God, am I? You know, if I was, I would get better teeth. I would go to Turkey. I'd get the hair things on. You know, if I claim to be God, and then the followers of this podcast.
And we lost Jake's audio. Can anybody hear Jake, or is it gone? Yeah, Jake's audio's gone. I was gonna say, it's funny because with first of all, we have Todd saying right here, it didn't allow blacks. It's funny for two things. One, in the musical The Book of Mormon, one of my favorite lines is in the song "I Believe," and I believe that in 1979 God changed his mind about black people. Black people, that was great. But it's a Carter thing. Carter was going to revoke the tax exemption for Mormons unless they stopped being racist. So that's kind of interesting. Mormons are
it's kind of a fun idea. They're going, listen, you don't have to pay taxes as long as you don't be racist. And the church was like, nah, fuck them, and fuck you, big government. We're going to still be racist because it is the word of the Lord.
Well, when it comes to Christianity, I don't know how many people actually, I mean, we know that most people don't read their own holy book, but when it comes to how it's assembled, it's like the Gospels were written several hundred years after the fact. It's not like they sat down and said, oh, this guy Jesus just walked out of the cave, let's start transcribing. People talked and there was chatter and gossip, and then years later people started writing the Gospels, and we still, some people believe it's fact and true. Nope, we apparently, you're on mute. It says you're muted. Oh, you have no mic connected, so I can't unmute you.
Here we go. What is it connected to now? Okay, yeah, I may have to just kind of, if it does it again, disconnect this Bluetooth. For whatever reason, the Bluetooth
just
doesn't
go
like
to open air. Yeah, just connect it and go to open air. But
yeah,
all right, so let's move on to
that.
another story. We missed that. Let's try and bang through these because we've burned a lot of time. Which one do I want to talk? I brought this up. Nick Reiner seeks $1.5 million trust fund to pay for murder defense. The harm is irreparable. Trustee withholds funds that are already Nick's. So, I'm going to throw the word allegedly right here and say that everything I say from this point forward has allegedly in front of it so that we don't get sued and pay for Nick Reiner's defense. So, Nick Reiner murders his parents, Rob and not Rob. And I'm sorry, I don't know his mom's name. I don't know. I feel like a bad person. Did you see the headlines today? NFL wife collapses and nearly dies. It was Simone Biles, and everybody lost their shit saying, it's Simone Biles. She's an Olympic champion, and you're referring to her as NFL wife. So I don't know. Rob Reiner.
Kelsey's girlfriend said today. Yeah,
I saw they did that at the NBA. It said Kelsey's fiance. So yes, I do not remember Rob Reiner's wife, but Nick Reiner's parents. Nick kills his parents, but they had a trust fund set in place for him. They put 1.5. They're going to give their kid $1.5 million in case he needs it. And now it's being sort of held onto, and he's suing. He's trying to get access to the $1.5 million so he can try and weasel out of having killed his parents who gave him that money. The world is a wonderfully ironic place.
Dude,
God, TikTok, I apologize for all the dick shots you're seeing of me. How can I get this so that it stops looking at my dick? God,
or at least put it on OnlyFans. You know what I mean? They get here and up for free. And then if they want to subscribe, they got to pay for it. But
I'm on a computer, but I can't.
I often speak a lot on this podcast of things which I have no real expertise, or I'll even say layman knowledge. A lot of times I'm just talking shit. But so let me preface this with I have no legal expertise and very little even general knowledge about the law. I'm going to go on a limb and say there's no fucking way he's getting this money. All right. There's no way. I think any lawyer's intern, like whatever, day one, could make it to where this guy does not get the money. I mean, if you take out a life insurance policy on your spouse and then kill your spouse, you don't get paid for it. You don't get. You can't just sit there and go like, Your Honor, I know I allegedly stabbed my wife or whatever, but the money's supposed to be mine. So can you give that to my lawyer? And if this whole thing goes south, can you throw my wife's death money in my prison commissary so I can buy ramen noodles and Snickers bars and things like that?
Well, the thing that I like about it is the hearing for the matter has been set for August 17th. So he's got at least 2 more months to sit without that money, that blood money he wants. He's got 2 months to Michelle Singer Reiner. There, I feel not better because I didn't remember it, but at least I was honest in my. And then again, with Taylor Swift and Kelsey and with Simone Biles. Actually, Simone Biles is more well-known than the NFL player that she's married to who keeps bouncing from team to team. At least Rob Reiner is the famous one, and I'm trying to apologize for not remembering her name. In those other cases, the more famous person is the one that was slighted. So,
right, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I honestly I should know her name too. I'm gonna go Julie. I'm gonna go Julie.
It's right here. Look, you got to look at.
Michelle Reiner. Oh, there we go. Oh,
all right. Next story. These are our favorite stories. I love these. He took his wife, a Trump fan, to the president's hotel in Doral, Florida. Instead, he was detained by ICE. Brian Jose Rojas Galorfe to see the beach for the first time and perhaps a glimpse of President Donald Trump, who she supports. Their January 2025 road trip from Wisconsin to Miami, however, turned into a nightmare because he got detained trying to enter the Trump Hotel, thrown in jail, and now they are $80,000 in debt. In the end, quote, it was a bad decision, Rojas said in an interview. Hey, maybe the bad decision was when, I don't know, you decided to support someone that said, I want to get rid of all the immigrants and you're an immigrant.
I mean, people being shocked by this, it's wild. I mean, yeah. The only way that even makes sense a little bit is if they're only watching Fox News and stuff like that. There seem to be a lot of people that had the impression he's only talking about deporting like people with MS-13 tattooed on their face in giant letters, right? And so, if this guy's here under asylum,
he showed up.
Right, he wouldn't
under
fit
Biden.
that criteria. But then, if you heard those guys keep talking in those same speeches, that Fox would only show the clip when they're talking about, there's all these gang members and we're going to deport the gang members. They'd give numbers of who all they're going to deport. And they're going to talk about, asylum seekers under Biden. They're just letting anybody in and anybody can apply for asylum. And it's all a scam so they can vote Democrat or something like that eventually. That's what they would say in the same damn speeches. So I get why rednecks who, whatever, they were born here and they only thought that they were going to be deporting hardcore criminals or whatever. But if you're here under asylum, you'd think you'd kind of be up on this shit. You know what I mean? You'd think you'd be up on the news. But I do love the idea of a guy with no, who's not really here under, doesn't have citizenship, going to the Trump Hotel and ICE picking him up and then being you really, you wanted to come here of all places? This is crazy.
It gets better because he showed up in September 2021 during the Biden administration, but let's see, go all the way down. They decided to go to the hotel because she supports Trump, and they went to a security checkpoint where the agents from the Secret Service and the police searched their vehicle. Beneath one of the car seats, discovered an air pistol, an airsoft gun, that the wife said she carries for personal safety, and they also found a marijuana grinder in the glove compartment. I
forgot about that. They went there with weed too. Weed.
And even the thing is, you're showing up, even if it's not a real gun, even if it's a pellet gun, you are going to something where the Secret Service is, where the president could be, and they noticed his tattoo, and they separated him, and then then this whole thing started. It's bad decision. It's your fucking fault every fucking step of the way, from being stupid and supporting Trump, to wanting to take your immigrant on asylum status ass to his place, to bringing a pellet gun to a place where the Secret Service is, to having, did you learn nothing from Brittany Griner going to Russia? I mean, these people, and now they're 80,000 in debt. And the best part is, she said, what happened to my family isn't fair. Oh, but what happened to every other family, all tits until it happens to you. These fucking people.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, even Wile E. Coyote's looking at these guys going, I mean, that at least the Roadrunner has to tie up the anvil. You tied the anvil over your own head and then snipped the little cord. What are you doing?
No, I think the Coyote always ties the anvil, but then the Roadrunner tricks him into dropping it on himself. So it is that there is a parallel.
So this way, there was no runner. There was no road runner, just them acting stupid, and they got themselves in all this.
Sophie and Ken, every single anti-Trump person said Trump is going after every immigrant. They refuse to listen. They ignore. It reminds me of the week after the election, 2 weeks after the election, when Doge kicked in, and people in rural towns that voted for Trump started losing their jobs because Doge was firing them. And then a judge, rehired them, made it. But it was like, literally like, I didn't know he meant me, because you're fucking stupid. That's all there is to it. When you say, I wanted it to happen to someone else, I didn't think it would happen to me. Yeah, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah, a federal employee. I do love the idea of a federal employee voting for the guy. I love him. He talks about how there's too many people working at the federal government, where I work. And so I think he's going to cut out all the other assholes, just the ones that piss me off.
Yeah. All right. This is my favorite headline of the week right here. This is a thing of beauty. Ken Paxton's attorney in his impeachment trial endorses James Tallarico in U.S. Senate race. The guy that literally fought and said, no, he's being railroaded. Ken Paxton's being railroaded by his own party because it was Texas Republicans that impeached him, that wanted him to go down. This is the Republicans eating their own. His attorney that said he's innocent has endorsed his rival. This is a thing of beauty.
It has a Nick Nolte and Cape Fear kind of vibe, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Just, my client's a monster. You can't elect this man.
What it has is a Nick Reiner trying to kill his parents and then get the money that they set aside for him. It literally is another. It's not Nick Nolte. It's Nick Reiner.
That's right.
By the way, this has nothing to do with anything, but I did try watching Cape Fear, the reboot on Apple. I didn't make it through the first episode. I'm just like, all right, it did not sit well with me.
I mean, it's a reboot of a reboot. What are we doing?
Yeah.
You got two Cape Fears to pick from at this point. And one of them's got Nick Nolte and Robert De Niro in it. Come on now.
This one has no, wait. I'm trying to. Penelope Cruz's husband. I was trying to say that instead of Javier Bardem. I wanted to reverse. I wanted to reverse it. Is it Penelope Cruz? Is he married to? I don't know.
I
didn't want to name him because I wanted to think of his spouse. I mean, it's got Javier in it, and he's awesome. But you're right. It's we're gonna reboot something that's been rebooted, but instead of a movie, we're gonna break it up and turn it into a TV series, which means we're gonna add a bunch of unnecessary shit. And it's just like I don't care. All the shit you're adding is I don't care. Yeah, Mitchum and Gregory Peck. You don't need to reboot these things again.
Oh, wasn't there already another? I think this is the fourth reboot, right? Because didn't they have one with Mark Wahlberg? Wasn't that Cape Fear as well?
No, that you're thinking of the one where he's looking at a teenage girl in the backyard. I never saw it, but I know what you're talking about.
I thought that was Cape Fear. I could be wrong.
That was early on in his career. That's one of the ones that launched him, was where he, Poison Ivy, something like that. There was something with him where Wahlberg played a stalker.
Weird.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but I think you do have the right one, because he was.
Oh, just Fear. That's why.
Fear. Yeah. All right. I was goddamn close. Yeah, it was Fear.
Led pulled that up for us. Thank you, Led.
There we go. Thanks. Appreciate that.
All right, so Ken Paxton's endorsing Tallarico. We're basically out of time because I ate a 20. And for people that say, well, why do you say you're out of time? Because we're on the free StreamYard plan. Maybe that's why it crashes all the time because we don't invest any money in this because it fucking. We did for 10 years, we paid $75 a year for something, and all we were doing was losing 75. It's not a lot, but it's like, why
Right.
go into the red over this?
Yeah.
So we are on the, yes.
And StreamYard doesn't do a lot to inspire us to give them money. I'll say that about StreamYard.
Did you just Simone Biles, the great Javier Bardem? Yes, I did. That's what I did. But so if we go long, then we run out of time at the end of the month, and we're at the beginning of June, so we gotta maintain our time. But the other stories I was gonna bring up was I thought it was hilarious when the Hawk Tua girl launched her Bitcoin, and then it crashed, and the people that created it kept all the money, and everyone got mad at the Hawk Tua girl. Trump family got about $500 million from crypto venture, but investors saw steep losses. So Trump's created their own coins, sold it, people bought it. So Trump got all the cash. Trump got cash because you bought their coin, and then the value of the coin dropped, and so you bought it for $20. Now it's worth $3. You've lost $17, but Trump got your cash. So could you stop buying these fucking coins when they come out? Like you're not investing. You're stupid.
I really hope there's a Venn diagram of people who lost money both in the Hawk Tua coin and the Trump coin. Just people that don't learn.
Yes. Maybe we'll talk about the UFC next week because we are signing off. Apologies for all
I'm
the
looking
delays.
forward to the UFC. I am so looking forward to the UFC thing tonight. I know that everybody's mad because it doesn't belong at the White House. It doesn't. He is going full mad Roman Emperor with this. I'll admit it. But I fucking love UFC and it's a great card. So I think it's going to be awesome. I love the idea. Like he's straight up having a gladiator fight, Roman Emperor style. He's saying it's to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Hey, isn't there another holiday we do that on sometime in July, the 4th maybe? Did you move the birthday of the country to your fucking birthday? That's mad Roman Emperor shit. Can you imagine if Obama did that? If he was like, yeah, I know we normally do this on July 4th, but I'm moving the country's birthday to my birthday. I feel like I'm the country and the country is me. So worship me. Like, that's nuts. And now he's got a gladiator event. Is he going to sit on a litter in a toga while women feed him grapes? While interns and porn stars feed him grapes?
Todd's called it. He's gone commodus.
That's right.
He's got to take an interest in this. But Ken has a question. What about the value of his Trump trading cards? Those NFTs, those are just going through the roof. Hold on to those NFTs forever. They're worth millions. All right. I have been Nathan Timmel. You can find me at nathantimmel.com. Jake has been Jake Vevra, and you can find him on all social media at Jake Vevra. Next week will be Jake is going to log on a half an hour early. We're going to get on early at noon, but then we will open up the floor on the 21st. We'll open it at 12:30, but Jake, you're jumping on 15 minutes early to get this sorted out. Yeah,
I think I know what the issue was. They had to install a thing to make the Bluetooth work. This computer sucks. Basically.
Years ago, before Jake had kids, I said, hey, you should invest in a new iPad. And he didn't. All right, we're out of here. Emperor Trump played a fiddle while the value of his e-coin earned. And we'll dismount like that. There we go. Yeah, dude. So basically what happened, it disconnected and I thought